They warned her, but she didn't listen. He said all the right things, made her feel seen, loved, chosen. But when lies start to crack, she realized the devil doesn't always come with horns. And what waited at the end of her search? That no one saw coming. In the bustling heart of Lagos, a small community where everyone knew everyone, tensions simmered beneath the surface. Folake sat on a worn-out wooden chair outside her mother's shop, trying to quiet her restless mind. She was waiting for someone who promised her the world. Her neighbor, an elderly woman named Mama Tinu, came over. Folake, why are you looking so worried today? Mama Tinu asked, adjusting her jeel. Folake forced a smile. It's nothing. Just waiting for news about a job. Mama Tinu nodded, but her eyes lingered on Folake. These are hard times. I pray it works out in your favor. As the sun dipped lower, Folake's phone finally buzzed. It was Lunra, the man she had given her heart to over a year ago. She picked up with a hopeful grin. Lunra, how did everything go? Folake, there's a small issue, Lunra replied, his voice hesitant. I need another £100,000 to finalize the investment. You know how these things are. Folake frowned, her heart sinking. But you said this was the last time. Our savings are almost gone, Lunra. Don't worry, sweetie. This is the last hurdle. I promise you. Tercine. 3 days turned into weeks, and Folake's heart grew heavier. The last of her savings had been sent, but Lunra's promises remained unfulfilled. She started suspecting something was amiss. Her mother noticed her furrowed brow as they prepared dinner. Folake, my dear, why have you been so quiet? Her mother asked, concern in her eyes. Folake hesitated, then sighed. It's Lunra. I'm beginning to worry about him and the money. Her mother paused, ladle in midair. Did he promise you something? Folake nodded. My daughter, a bird in hand is better than two in the bush. Scene 4. Folake didn't want to believe her fears, but they gnawed at her relentlessly. One afternoon, she overheard a conversation at the local store. Have you heard? That Lunra is such a smooth talker. He's promised another girl the same nonsense he's been feeding Folake. She froze, her heart pounding. She pushed through the door and faced the gossiping women. What did you say about Lunra? Folake demanded, her voice trembling but firm. One woman folded her arms. Folake e mabinu. I just thought you should know that he's not what he seems. Folake's world shook. Scene 5. Folake returned home in a daze. Her mind raced with the weight of betrayal. As she lay in bed that night, tears slipped silently down her cheeks. The man she loved might be a fraud, and she'd sent him everything. The next morning she called him, needing to hear the truth. Lunra, we need to talk. I've heard things, she began nervously. There was a pause, then a chuckle that sent chills down her spine. Folake, you worry too much. People will always talk. But deep down, Folake knew. Those words confirmed her worst fears. Desperate for answers, Folake decided to confront Lunra in person. She took a 2-hour bus ride, gripping a small purse and a growing sense of dread. She arrived at his supposed office, only to find it emptied and abandoned. Folake felt her cheeks burn with shame. She was truly alone in this. She rushed out, needing air, needing clarity. The truth stung. Folake spent the subsequent days entrenched in sorrow, her spirit depleted. Her mother tried to console her, but nothing seemed to help. Ah, Folake, men like him are not worth your tears, her mother would whisper at night. But Folake couldn't erase the bitterness, the betrayal that now filled her once vibrant eyes. Determined not to let Lanra's betrayal define her life, Folake decided she needed justice. She approached a friend, Akin, who worked at a local radio station. Maybe if she exposed Lanra, others might avoid her fate. Akin, I need your help. People need to know what Lanra has done, Folake stated firmly, her resolve growing. Akin nodded. Let's bring him to the light. We'll expose this scammer together. For days, Folake gathered evidence, texts, receipts, anything that could paint the true picture of Lanra's deceitful ways. She felt like a detective, piecing together a life she thought was full of love, but was rooted in lies. As she recorded her story at the station, her voice wavered but never broke. Folake was turning her pain into power. The broadcast aired, stirring whispers into the loud symphony of public outrage. People in her community began recognizing her plight. Ah, Folake, you are a brave woman. Some praised her courage. Yet others whispered as she passed by, reminding her of her vulnerability, the scars now visible to all. Despite the shame, Folake felt a flicker of strength inside her. Lanra's name spread like wildfire, and others came forward, sharing similar stories of betrayal. It was bigger than her, this fight for justice. Yet not everyone seemed happy about it. Folake received a call from an unknown number. You should be careful. Not everyone wants your truth out there, the voice warned before hanging up. The threat unnerved her, but Folake was undeterred. On the day of Lanra's hearing, she sat in the front row, her heart a mix of fear and defiance. She wanted to see him face the consequences, to reclaim her dignity. The doors swung open, and Lanra walked in, flanked by his lawyer. He glanced at her, a smirk playing at his lips. I'll make you regret this, he mouthed silently as he passed her. The tension in the courtroom was palpable. As testimonies were given, Folake watched, every word a reminder of her heartache, but also a step towards healing. Her hands shook slightly as she took a sip of water, the murmurs of the crowd like a sea at her back. Folake rushed outside, her breath shallow. She dialed Akin, but before she could speak, his words hit her hard. Folake, I don't know how, but someone is meddling with the evidence. They've flipped the narrative. Folake's grip tightened on the phone, her heart a whirlwind of despair and determination. She knew this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of a fight that would demand every ounce of her courage. Desperate for truth but filled with a newfound courage, Folake stared up at the sky. She would not let this go until justice was served. Part 2 awaited her next move. Folake stood outside the courthouse, the weight of the recent revelations pressing heavily on her shoulders. The anger she felt coursed through her veins like a wildfire. How dare Lanra twist the truth and blame her for his deception? As the cool Lagos air swept over her, she clenched her jaw and pulled out her phone, dialing Tayo, a journalist friend known for digging into the dirt where others wouldn't dare to look. Tayo, I need your help, Folake said into the phone, her voice resolute. What's going on, Folake? She didn't wait for pleasantries. Lanre, he's trying to turn it all against me. Can you dig up any dirt on him? I need something that can unequivocally prove he's lying. Tayo hesitated for a moment, then replied, Give me a day or two. We'll see what I can find. Back at home, exhaustion clawed at Folake, but sleep wouldn't come. Her mother joined her on the veranda, where the night was a tapestry of stars and distant city sounds. Folake Pele, I'm proud of how strong you've been, her mother said softly. Strong? I feel like everything is falling apart. How could I have been so blind, Mamma? Folake's voice broke with raw emotion. Her mother took her hand firmly. This will pass, my child. Remember the Lord is our shepherd, always. Folake sighed, trying to absorb the comfort, but her heart throbbed with a desire for vengeance. 2 days later, Folake met with Tayo at a local cafe. He had papers and files spread out, evidence piling like bricks in the fortress she needed to build her case. Look at this, Folake. He's got a history, Tayo said, pointing to old records. Folake glanced through them, her heart thudding with a mix of relief and rage. So it wasn't just me. He's been doing this for years. Tayo leaned back, thoughtful. This should help. But remember, the truth has a way of coming to light. You've got to hold on, no matter what comes next. Armed with new evidence, Folake returned to the courthouse. Her heart was a caged beast, ready to pounce as she watched the courtroom fill with spectators and the curious. As the session began, she felt a presence beside her. It was Pastor Femi, a gentle-spoken man from her community church. Folake, I heard about your struggles. I prayed for you, Pastor Femi whispered. Thank you, Pastor. I just want justice. Her voice wavered slightly, but her resolve didn't. Pastor Femi's eyes were kind. Remember, justice comes not in the way we expect, but often in a way that transforms us. Keep faith. Inside the courtroom, Folake presented her new evidence. The documents lay bare Lunra's manipulative patterns, each page a stone in a path leading to his guilt. The judge listened intently, the weight of the truth beginning to tip the scales back in Folake's favor. As Lunra's lawyer attempted to counter, there was a visible shift. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation, the tension almost tangible. But as the day ended, a colleague of Lunra's, whose conscience had been pricked by the unfolding events, stepped forward. She provided her own testimony, revealing Lunra's machinations with clarity. The revelation was a bombshell, the courtroom erupting once more into chaos. Folake sat back, breathing deeply as relief mingled with overwhelming emotion. Later, outside the courtroom, Folake happened upon Lunra alone. His usual charisma was gone, replaced by a veneer of desperation. You think you've won, Folake, but this isn't over, Lunra spat, though less convincingly than before. His bravado was faltering under the weight of exposure. Folake met his gaze, seeing the fear behind his eyes. Lunra, it's not about winning. It's about truth. Maybe you should seek it too, before it's too late for you. That night, Folake lay awake, the recent events swirling in her mind. She thought about the pain Lunra had caused, but also the burden of carrying hate around. Her mother's words echoed, "The Lord is our shepherd." She turned to the Bible, a constant presence by her bedside, and found herself in the book of Matthew where it read, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." With tears spilling over, Folake whispered a prayer. "Lord, I'm tired. Help me find peace beyond this mess." As dawn broke, Folake awoke to a quiet sense of clarity. Her path had been made clearer, not by the prospect of revenge, but by something deeper. She resolved to see the truth come out, but she would not be consumed by hatred. At the final hearing, the atmosphere was tense, but hopeful. Testimonies were given, the judge considerate and deliberate in every word pronounced. As Folake watched Lunra, her heart stirred not with anger, but with a mix of sorrow and hope that he might one day seek redemption. After the hearing, As the judge ruled in favor of exposing Lonra's deceitful operations, Lake didn't feel the elation she expected. Instead, there was a serene acceptance, a step toward healing for her, and perhaps for others too. I nearly lost everything, Lake shared quietly with her mother. But I'm beginning to understand. Revenge doesn't heal. Only faith, only Christ, truly can. Pastor Femi approached Lake with a nod of encouragement. You've done what's right, Lake. Sometimes, faith requires us to fight, but also to forgive. I know, Lake replied, tears brimming. I'm still learning. Lanra, now facing his actions, looked back at her as he was led away. For a moment, their eyes locked, a silent acknowledgement of shared humanity, bruised, battered, but reaching for grace. Weeks later, Lake found a new normal. She'd returned to the quiet of her family and community support, rebuilding her life piece by piece. She stood one evening, gazing at a quiet sunset over Lagos, with her Bible open, a living testament of hope amid despair. As the last traces of daylight faded, Lake understood that her journey wasn't just about exposing wrongs, but embracing transformation. Loneliness and hurt remained, but so did God's promise of peace. The final lingering image was of Lake closing her Bible with a gentle smile, stepping into her home with the light of grace illuminating her path. Thank you so much for listening to this intriguing story. I hope it touched you or taught you something. For more stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page. And guys, if you'd like to see a part 2, or you have thoughts on what happened, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next story.